that they're part of home build journey and builds the role of builder and project manager to be the main point of contact as they handhold homeowners from start to finish. So please put your hands together to invite the founder of Nick & West, Mr. Brian Cow, up on stage, please.
How we came into the industry. It was a simple reason. We were homeowners and we wanted to live in a beautiful home, just like all of you. It was in the 1990s and we were building our third home when tragedy struck. Our project was abandoned and we were stuck. But that's a story for another time. We learned things the hard way, and we are here to ensure that you do not fall into the same potholes that we did. Actually, you are all today in a much better prepared than me. You have got the Hey Google. Back in the time, we had the zero. Fast forward, I'm going to share with you as a homeowner, and today as a turnkey builder, my experiences, some vital tips and value creation in the landed home arena, and finally some cost per square foot. I always believe there is a better way, and let's create it together. I'm Brian Cow from Nick & West Builders, a family-run business, and that's my wife Jude, and that's my daughter and son Nicole and Wesley, who will be our next generation leaders. We specialize in the design and build procurement of landed house, and we are pushing through into our third decade while simplifying the process. Why is there such an appeal in the landed property sector? Point number one, it is limited in supply, and you are all a part of a very niche group of property owners. I call this the 5% market. There are only 70,000 plus landed homes in Singapore. Just drive around your estate, you'll be surprised at the number of landed homes that have not reached their full potential yet. These are still the diamonds caught in the rough, and they are exposed to you. I'll give you my first hot tip. Which has more value, an inter-terrace, a corner terrace, or a semi-D? Do you know that there are some inter-terraces that can be converted into a corner terrace or a semi-D that do not even attract the development charge or land betterment charge? It's another value creation real estate diamond in the rough. Actually, you are all here in the midst of all the experts here. You can actually go and speak to them to find out about these. Point number two, the creation of potential space. What kind of space can I achieve? Let's say you take an inter-terrace, an entry-level inter-terrace, 1,600 square feet. You build it up to 3 stories, you put in an attic, and if you feel that that's not enough, put in a mezzanine. Do you know that you can build up to almost 4,000 to 5,000 square feet of valuable living space? Now I'll give you a fun fact. Let's reverse engineer this. You buy a inter-terrace, let's say, for $4 million. Let's say you spend $2.4 million to build it up to 6,000 square feet. And then maybe you add another 500,000 for all the ancillary fees like stamp duty, blah, blah, blah. Your total cost will be about $6.9 million. Now here, it is about $1,150 per square foot of freehold, livable, lifestyle, built-up, usable space. Relate this to an average cost per square foot of a new condo within your same estate. This may surprise you. Even now, homes are built to include amenities found in condos, which I will show you towards the end of the presentation, which I like to refer to as the landed condo. Point number 3. This is a very interesting one. The ability to create bespoke homes and it's customized to suit your lifestyle. It's the most exciting segment to be in, and you as a homeowner, you are the sculptor of your own home. How many of us here own a black and white colonial home? We were blessed to have built a black and white bungalow for a family who has been living there for more than 12 years. This is what I truly mean, creating your own bespoke home. It's my home, and it's my own piece of art. Okay, I'm supposed to talk about factors influencing the current market pricing. Actually, I think they meant, do you see construction costs falling? I'll go through the points one by one. Maybe you can help me out. Okay. GST up or down? Up, right? Okay. Labor costs. We have our own workers and we have our own dormitory. Levies have picked up. Dormitory costs have gone up. Labor costs up or down? Up. Okay, next. Fuel prices, down or up? Still high. It's not coming down yet. Let's hope it does, all right? Next one, interest rates, up or down? Up. Okay, there's one special for you. Steel prices during COVID peaked, but today it has come down. But the other material costs are generally about there still. So I would put it as stabilized. Short of a major recession in the market, I don't think a fall in construction costs is around the corner. Sorry, yeah? Okay. Now I'm going to introduce you to the 4 different types of home builds that you will experience as a homeowner. Number 1 is a makeover, which is the simplest and least costly. A&A, addition and alteration, is about creating more space using the existing shell and not exceeding 50% of the current gross floor area. Reconstruction, creating more space using the existing shell and exceeding 50% of the gross floor area. And then finally, the new erection, a complete tear down and a complete rebuild from scratch. This is going to be very interesting for you, a very interesting topic which is called the general cost highlights, which I'm sure you all want to know. These are prices that we are going through and I'm sharing with you all. But take this into consideration. There's something to take note, and this is based on our Nick and West design and build procurement. For new erection costs, these are between a build-up size of between 4,500 to about 6,500 square feet. These cost estimates are based on full works, all in, except for the soft furnishings and GST. That means full construction, finishing costs, submissions where required, general cabinetry, light and sanitary fixtures, and the like. It's like a moving condition house. The prices are real prices. However, it can be more or it can be less. And these are subject to individual variables, preferences, and variations. Especially for makeovers, addition and alterations, and reconstruction, I can give you some rough indications, as there are too many variables that affect the cost components. Example, what are we keeping? What are we extending? Or what are we changing? So I'll come into the first slide, which is about the inter-terrace, the intermediate terrace. For a full makeover, generally, we are speaking about something like, let's say you buy a 2-story inter-terrace, and you're intending to extend you're extending 2 floors towards the back or towards the front. Or your existing inter-terrace and you're building up an attic. Oh, sorry. Let me go back. For a full makeover, you're actually using the same shell. But you are changing your windows, you're changing your doors, you're changing your flooring, you're changing your lighting, you're having a new ceiling, you're having a new roof. But the whole house is like an almost new house. You would be spending somewhere between $400,000 to $800,000, and that is what I'm calling with move-in condition, together with your cabinetry. Addition and alteration, it's about 900 to about 1.4 million. And this means that you're extending your existing 2-story, let's say, inter-terrace towards the back, 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters, and maybe building up into, or extending it back, or your existing 2-story inter-terrace, and then you're putting a new attic up there. So you look, or set aside something like between 900 to 1.4 million. Then we come to reconstruction and the new erection. But I'll come to reconstruction a little later, because the new erection is more important to understand, because recon is related to the new erection. It's approximately $350 to $400 per square foot of built-up area for a new erection, for an intermediate terrace house. Let's say you build a house that is about 6,000 square feet. Be prepared to set aside maybe about $2.4 million for it. It could be less, because I'm saying it's between 350 to 400, but this gives you some rough numbers to work in, especially when you're buying it for the first time and not understanding construction costs. So now you ask yourself, where does recon come in? Okay, let's say I'm building a house under the recon, which I'm keeping most of the existing structure, and I'm building it up to 6,000 square feet. Same size as the new erection. There's not a very big cost savings. It's about 100 to 150,000. That is through our own experience doing this. And the reason being, sometimes it's even tougher to build as a recon as compared to a new erection, because of the existing structure and how to work around it. So sometimes it can be quite complex, but it's also something to consider if you want to build smaller. It will be one where you don't have to put so much of money into the house if you build it, let's say, for 5,000 square feet or maybe even 4,000 square feet. Something to consider. The next one is the semi-detached. For a full makeover, generally you fall between about $500,000 to about $900,000. A&A, generally about $1 to $1.5 million. Likewise, in a new erection, per square foot price of a moving condition would be between about $380 to $430 per square foot. And then we come to the final one, which is the bungalow. This requires some studying due to variables, but an approximate cost per square foot is about $450 and above. That doesn't mean it can't go into the 500 range or the 550 range. But we are doing currently 2 bungalows, and one of them is about 8,000 over square feet. What's your thoughts? 8,000 over square feet, will the cost per square feet be higher or lower? Okay, the answer is that it will be lower because there's economies of scale kicking in. Because when we are doing this piece of property that we are building that's 8,000 over square feet, it's below $450 per square foot. Okay, now I'll take you to the first step of your home building journey, creating your blueprint. What do you need? What do you need to think of before you start your home build journey? There are 3 essential items you need to have in place. First is your wish list, the must-have and the would like to have. List them all down. Number 2, the concept of what you want in a home. Whether you like a tropical environment, you like a modern, or work around a certain theme that resonates for you and your family. And the third thing is that it's good to have a copy of the existing approved architectural and structural plans and service plans for your house. Now, this is just as importantly, what are your priorities when you're doing your own home? There are 3 main priorities that will affect you. Number 1, is it to maximize size on my land? Or number 2, is the concept and features of the house more important? Or is it number 3, cost? In reality, if you look which is more important, either number 1, number 2, number 3. Most people, I would say, cost is always number 1. Okay. Now we'll go to strategies to manage expenses. My rule of thumb is to always go with a full rebuild because you get the most value of your home. However, if it is not feasible, a makeover is an alternative, and it has a lower capital outlay and a shorter construction duration. With building and finishing materials, you can explore various options to help you control your budget. But lastly, if you still want to build up, but maximization isn't feasible, discuss with your builder on smart space planning possibilities. That is, maybe go for an A&A or a reconstruction. Now we come to how do we future-proof our homes? The reality is that we're going to live in our homes typically between 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, and sometimes forever. So it's about creating a home that will give us optimal use for that span of time. How many of you all are planning for multi-generational family? An elevator is a useful feature to have to make the home easily accessible throughout the levels. Alternatively, make provisions for it in case you decide to install one down the road. Today, a proper home office has been a vital addition in the homes that we are building. COVID was the time that we realized that this was a must. And it's a place where you can get work done optimally without distraction. Now, this is also another very important point. It's look beyond the typical functional space of a home. Another value add, it isn't just a place to eat and sleep. It should be a place you yearn to return to, and the amenities can enhance the experience of your home. Pools and water features can promote relaxation. A movie room can entertain the family, and a gym can promote a healthy lifestyle. And lastly, the installation of solar panels. This today has become the most cost-effective in creating a more sustainable and eco-friendly home. About 3 out of 5 of the houses that we build are using solar today. And I believe from our friend over there, he says the payback return is about 5 years. When I first started encouraging this, it was about 10 to 12 years before you get your returns. Today is about 5 years. Something worthwhile to consider. Okay, in conclusion, there are 2 types of value that is very important. One is called monetary, and the other one is emotional. Both are just as important in creating your lifestyle. Monetary value is about creating useful space. Emotional value is about heart issues that appeal to the household members that pull them together. And this forms the icing on the cake. And this is actually really very priceless. With this, I leave you with a short video on what a home means to us. Finally, your takeaway. Your home must be practical, it must be functional and aesthetically beautiful, and sprinkle it with a lot of wows. It's my home, it's my piece of art. Thank you.
A round of applause. Thank you very much, Mr. Brian Kao, for the insightful presentation.